Hey, Pickle Pack. Now it's time for Silly Songs with Brager, the part of the show where Brager comes out and sings a silly song. Today, we will be talking about an album from my personal collection. This is a good one. We're not going to be talking about any early 70s yacht rock, ultra unhip stuff. Something a little more hip. This is a good one. It's one of two albums I own by this band, and one of only two albums that I've even heard in their entirety, maybe. I mean, it's possible I've streamed some of the other ones and I just don't recall. One of two. It is the first LP by this particular band. Today, we are listening to a band. Now, everyone's heard of the New Cars, right? I mean, they're a household name. Todd Rundgren, the New Cars. Well, what some people don't know is that they're in a lesser known band called The Cars. And this is their first album called The Cars. This is a classic. They all are. I kind of associate them with like the 80s. Oh, this came out in 1978 and Candy-O in 1979. I suppose their biggest success was like early 80s. They have a lot of good tunes. This is a great album. A lot of hits on this album. We're talking Elliot Easton, Greg Hawkes, Rick Ocasek, Benjamin Orr. Lot of hits. There was, as you can see, mine used to be owned by this person. If you're out there, we're coming for you. Or maybe you're coming for your album. Maybe you miss it. So, I mean, Good Times Roll, Best Friend's Girl, Just What I Needed, You're All I've Got Tonight, All Mixed Up. That's like half or more of the songs that I just listed, all of which are hits. If you're over the age of 75, you know them. You know them well. Oh. Yeah, I bought this at my local shop. I paid $3, maybe $5, probably $3. That's what the sticker says. And I think it's real. I think I really did pay $3. I thought it was kind of interesting that, I guess it's not interesting, but Rick Ocasek is the lead singer, and Benjamin Orr sometimes sang lead too, and he had the better voice, I think. I mean, he had a nice voice, good, solid singing voice, where Rick Ocasek's voice is kind of silly, but it had character, and I suppose that's kind of one of the things that set them apart. I mean, his voice was unique. He had a unique singing voice. But I do think Ben Orr had the nicer voice. Ben Orr died in 2000, sadly, of, I think it was like pancreatic cancer, maybe. So that's too bad. I can't tell you all the ones he sings lead on. I don't know if he even does on this first Cars album. Iconic artwork. Greg Hawkes. I think he was kind of the, or is it Hawk? Maybe I sound like an idiot. I think he was really the sound of the Cars. He had the most interesting sound, I think, using synthesizers at this time. I mean, lots of people were using synths at this time. But I mean, it kind of stood out. slow that down a little bit. Um, Elliot Easton, he kind of carefully crafted his solos. Like he didn't go into the studio and do it off the cuff or anything. He wasn't improvising. He put a lot of work into it. He took time, did it exactly the way that he wanted to do, made them memorable. He's a solid guitar player, although I do think Greg Hawkes is kind of the standout member, really. I don't know if you can hear it playing in the background, but I'm listening to Moving in Stereo right now. This was very iconic. Fast Times at Ridgemont High was at like 82. So this album had been out for a while by that point. It had more, in fact. But yeah, what a classic movie and what a super iconic scene. And that's when I was like, I wasn't into the Cars or anything 80s when I was young. But I did see Fast Times at Ridgemont High, and that, I really like this song. I really like Moving in Stereo. I still do think it's probably my second favorite Cars song. But again, I haven't done a deep dive. I'm not like a huge Cars dude or anything. I like what I've heard. I'm a fan. I think they're kind of unique. It's just like solid, like new wave type rock music. If you haven't heard it, you really should. Rick Ocasek went on to date and break up with models. He went on to produce music. He produced the Blue album by Weezer. That's the one I always think of, the first Weezer album. So that's kind of cool. Not a good looking man. Sorry. I heard a little bit of, again, I don't really do research for these things, but I happened to listen to this Elliot Easton thing. He is in a band called Empty Hearts, I think, something like that. It wasn't very good. Sorry, Elliot. It wasn't very good. There wasn't anything wrong with it. It just didn't do anything for me. It was a little bland. Sort of a super group, though, Empty Hearts. Go ahead, don't check it out. But check out the Cars. And in the next video I do, I will be talking about another one of their albums. The only other Cars album I have. Such a good song. I could just sit here and stare at the lens listening to it. You know, JD is also a fan of the Cars. He's into them too. And we even, in Nectarmancer, we even briefly covered this one. We played Moving in Stereo. Only a little bit though, we didn't stick with it. We played it a few times, kind of let it go. Who knows, maybe we'll bring it back eventually. I'm not going to go on about it. It's a song that everyone's heard, everyone over the age of 82. 1978. I'd show you the actual vinyl record itself, but I'm listening to it and also why. Not really much to see. Not really much to see. Greg Hawkes played a Juno 60. That was one of the synths he played. And that is the same as the Juno 6, except it has storage banks. At least that's my understanding. I know that because my friend Amy, shout out to Amy, had the Juno 6, which was such a cool and fun synthesizer. First synthesizer I ever really played with. We recorded a lot of Theater Belcar stuff. It's out there. You know, look us up. You'll find it's everywhere. We're huge. One day, Theater Belcar will come back. But for now, it's kind of asleep. She does live in a different country, so that kind of makes it difficult. Juno 6, awesome synth. In fact, I got the Juno DS in part because I loved the Juno 6, even though it's a totally different synthesizer. But I actually love that one too. Listen to cars. Or don't. Thanks for stopping by. I'm proud of you.